It was lovely to hear about Amanda and Richard this morning, and they've always been friends across the Celtic Sea for us when this room wouldn't have been filled 10 years ago, when very few people thought this could happen in the middle of a Celtic tiger, when a lot of people knew stuff was unsustainable but maybe didn't want to hear. Really have two messages today. A new project that we're hopefully running on Inishbofin starting in a week or two. For the first time, that it's not just tourism, it's agriculture, fishing, community, recycling and everything, and joining the dots to the market and finding the right tour operators for Ireland, because we spend a lot of money in Ireland finding tour operators who don't care about a lot of our sustainability and our conscious products and stuff like that. And we hope that this will deliver that. It's funded by the EPA and Fáilte Ireland on the Wild Atlantic Way. If you don't know where Inishbofin is, it's off Galway. You can take a bus from Dublin Airport and go direct to the pier in Cleggan and get on that island. 180 people live there. It has 3 clean coasts, farming, fishing and tourism. And I suppose like all islands, they're trying to do it different and trying to get a different type of tourist to come back and to leave a lot. So in terms of giving benefit back to local communities, what we're going to hopefully do with them is create those experiences and create conservation products that the visitor cares about and can engage with. I think most people know Ecotourism Ireland. We've been around a couple of years. We came out of a cross-border project called Green Box. And really most of the work of that incubation product was to develop tools, but be it in training, certification, marketing, doing things different and trying to bring what we're doing to a global standard. And we have achieved that in terms of working with our label and criteria and similar to Annabelle's, but it's to a global standard, and it's all the stuff that Amanda was talking about and trying to get businesses to focus on things, but giving them a toolbox and a framework how to do it and the help and the skills. And it's really the enriching thing. The best quote I had from one of my members, Boyne Valley Activities, last year after his audit was, that interpretation stuff is great. It really makes you think about your product, think about the messages, think about the conservation side of it. And most people think of certification as boring, measuring carbon, measuring, but it's not. It's about inspiring, networking and getting people to create really exciting experiences that do benefit communities and to make you as a business think about benefiting your community. The essence of that project on Inishbofin is to embrace green practice and procurement, to bring it to the tour operators, to use international labels like the Clean Coast, to use Leave No Trace, to use existing labels and global messages like Origin Green for the food and other things that we maybe haven't been good at joining up the dots in tourism at. And I think it's really the next place we need to go to. In 2007, I sat at a conference in Oslo where we were starting to talk about global standards, and I sat beside the guy from FI who was involved in the Blue Flag, and he urged everyone in the room to keep going, that they never thought the Blue Flag developed in FI in Copenhagen would ever be adopted by other countries and people. FSC in the forestry terms and organics, particularly in Europe, we've managed to achieve things in other sectors. Tourism is struggling along about 20 years behind, not admitting it and not wanting to go global on it. And as a country, Ireland has excelled at being global in things, and we've seen with the Web Summit and we've seen with lots of products that we can do things to global standards. Even in terms of our visitors, Ireland is very unlike the UK. We have managed to bring back growth from American markets and from other markets, which not all the time are sustainable, but I think we have a huge potential to drive a different type of tourism to Ireland. And if I was standing here this time last year, I would see a lot of progress of people in leadership. The odd person, I'm not saying everyone, is listening and beginning to listen. And I've seen by some of their actions in the last year that they are beginning to support people who are doing things right and doing things well. In terms of the Global Sustainable Tourism Council, this was a global initiative that took place over a couple of years from 2008 to 2011 and 12. Over 72,000 organisations were consulted on all different types of criteria and where things were going. And that criteria is there now. So we should have all labels getting to that standard. You know what I mean? It's not about how many labels are in Ireland, it's having everyone at the same standard. And in the thinking, if Ecotourism Ireland happened to be named something else, it's the exact same standard that goes on travel life, on green growth, on lots and lots of other eco labels as they exist. We happen to be coming from an ecotourism background with ties as the product that we were coming from. So in terms of the buy-in and where it's at, it's linked into global distribution systems, and we feed in all our approvals and awards, and it's a growing standard that will continue to improve. Like all the other criteria and pillars, the most enriching ones are the community ones, the conservation ones, and the economic ones. And it's to make a business think about how they can incorporate those things into your business. And it can take from as long as 3 days to 2 years for you to do your application and to do it. We're refining a lot of our training to be online and make it easier for businesses. But there's 2 programs that the GSTC run, getting labels and criteria certified. We're the only label since 2012 in Ireland. But every week, new labels all over the world are getting to criteria standard. There's lots of destination standards, but the destination standard and criteria market is huge. I mean, there's about 4 or 5 versions of destination criteria, be it at EU level, be it at other consultancy level. And as someone joked at me at an event last week, it's where all the consultants are, and they're trying to make all the money. And to me, we've done very well in Ireland at ignoring a lot of things globally. We've a very big destination that we've managed to put very little criteria on with most projects we're doing. But I think I would see, you know, with the future of the Wild Atlantic Way, that things can be embedded and added in. And as usual, we play very good catch-up in Ireland. We usually don't think of it in the beginning, but we add it all in eventually. But the CEO of the Global Sustainable Tourism Council is Randy Durbin, who ran Talk Tours, who'll be one of the biggest high-end tour operators in America. So there now is an organisation who understands tourism, who understands how it works and how it's sold. So it's no longer people debating and talking about it. And I have found the last year or two very refreshing, where we don't have to keep talking about standards for people who are in the business, that if we want to do it, we can do it right. So these are just some of the other labels that are out there, from Fairtrade, South Africa to Costa Rica, Biosphere, Rainforest Alliance, that are labels that are in this place. This is an event, ITB Berlin, that I was at last year and this year in Ireland, and it's the biggest trade event for responsible, green and ecotourism, and Ireland never goes into the hall. And I have tried and tried, and we all need, if we want to get our message, I feel a lot of times we talk to ourselves in Ireland, we don't actually talk to the international trade, press or media or Tourism Ireland offices. We need to join up our thinking. I made great contacts last year. For any business to go to this, it costs €50 to get into it. And you can access what is going on in the world as CSR days, welcome days. So the ATTA, which came to Ireland last year, have their stand in that hall. So if we're really serious of trying to network with similar products and sharing messages around Europe, this is one of the places that we could go to. This was some new research that actually came out of that event last week, you know, to showing more and more evidence that different markets are looking at sustainability, and there is now a credible demand for it, and it's up to us to find that right way of presenting it and still create a holiday experience. People still want to be on a quality holiday experience and feel that they are giving something back, particularly to local and community. This one is an event that I went to last year in the USA, but it was funded by Fáilte Ireland and Tourism Ireland, and it was all eco in America. Rather than us talking to ourselves in one room, it was community, civic society, farming, policymakers, over 4,000 people at an event like this, and we presented at it. And ironically, we're ahead in a lot of things, be it on training and standards and messaging, and there's a growing need. And I would say the future of America and the future consumer of America will be very, very different. And we, coming close to Paddy's Day, have a different view of American tourists and the non-consumption. Look at a website called The New American Dream and the Lexicon of Sustainability to show you where the new thinking is in America. The Wild Atlantic Way, I know Fiona spoke here last year, and I kind of continue to have a conversation with Fiona about the sustainability of the Wild Atlantic Way. And I think for all of us in this room, we need to keep pushing how it is developed sustainably. This was a model that she discussed at a workshop in Donegal, but I think I'm beginning to see more movement with Leave No Trace, with some of the projects. But there are key people listening in organisations that I think, to me, is a first in the last year or two, and I would have a lot more hope for where it's going. Without even asking our Ecotourism Ireland Gold members, we're listed as secrets of the Wild Atlantic Way. So sometimes maybe our day is coming slowly but surely. And really just to conclude, I think this is a good event to start, but we need more than an annual meet-up just to talk and share. I think that it's not happening at regional level. The best practice is not being shared. I think we do need to have a global recognition of what we're doing, and that message to Tourism Ireland needs to happen if we're serious about bringing our products to market. There are some very, very good people. I wouldn't have ended up at the South by Southwest only for a key Tourism Ireland member in New York, Fiona Dunn, who is passionate about all of these sectors and watching out for opportunities for people. So I would be very, very hopeful for the future, but I would just appeal that we think global in what we're doing and to stop that conversation of how many initiatives we're doing in Ireland. If we have one standard, one message, and to go that way. And just to conclude, to really wish our members tonight well in the award ceremony, because I think if there wasn't such a full entry from Ecotourism Ireland members, there mightn't be as many in the short list. And I think it's been a very positive experience for people to continue to network internationally. We've done projects with Ecotourism Poland and Norway, and sharing internationally and talking more than to ourselves is very important. Thank you.
Thanks very much.